This was such a satisfying piece of code. In fact, in this video I'm going to show you some of the tips and tricks that I used in order to write it in LabVIEW. Let's start off with the front panel. So, on the front panel, if I click Ctrl M to change into run mode, we can see it actually looks like a dialog box. The way that I implemented this dialog box was going into VI properties or Ctrl I. I can go to window appearance. I then selected dialog, then I chose to customize it. In here, I deselected allowing the user to close the window because I'm actually going to implement that in a slightly different way. Can then click OK. I also changed the Windows title bar. The way you do that is, again, in window appearance, you'll need to uncheck same as VI name. Either you can type in any string you want. You can then click OK. Now here's where the magic is. To get a black background, all I did was open up the tools palette, which is Shift and then right click. Go into the little pen here, and then Control and right click. You can then choose a colour. To make it stand out, let's choose green. Okay, what do you notice here? Well, the first thing is that this DVD video, well, it appears just to be an image. But actually, look, if I click it, it's actually a control. It's a control that I've customized to have the DVD video image. The way that I customized this control was to right click, go to Advanced, and then Customize. From there, you can bring up a customizable control window. The next thing is this black box in the corner. This black box is actually our stop button. So if we run the code and I click the black box, notice how our code stops. The last thing on the front panel I want to show you is how I've customized the icon. Not many people know this, but you can actually open up an image from your computer and drag it directly into the icon window. Let's just change that back. Awesome. Now let's check out the code. So the first thing we're going to look at on the block diagram is getting the panel size. That's going to be the front panel size. So we're using a property node here to do that with the VI class in then front panel, then panel bounds. We're then going to offset it from the top and left so we can work with numbers 0 upwards as opposed to an offset. We're then going to subtract the difference of the control size itself, because we want, when the right side of the control hits the right wall of the panel, we want it to bounce back. But the distance is measured from the top left, hence why we need to take that difference away. Now let's show you what that actually means. So if we open up the front panel and then click run, you can see that it bounces around. That's great, but what will happen if we do something like this? If we resize the window and then run it, you can see that the control is still refined to that area, and we can make it do funky things like this. So here it's going up and down, but I actually quite like it if it goes across the screen like that. And so we've made a program that will fit pretty much any size, so long as it's larger than this size. And here you can see it bounce around a little screen. Awesome. Let's make that a bit bigger. So the next thing we're going to do is pick a random starting point, and we're doing that for the top shift register, and the top shift register is going to give us our current location. Our bottom shift register down, this is actually a stack shift register telling us what direction we were going in and 2 iterations ago. So the directions, I've made it so each corner has a number 0, 1, 2, 3. Because that DVD video is only ever going to travel in one of 4 directions. Even if it's not travelling directly towards a corner, it will be travelling parallel to it, because it's always at 45 degrees or multiples of. Inside the code, point number 5 here is determine if we've hit a wall. So essentially, is our current location less than or equal to 0 for the left or the top, or is it greater than or equal to our lowest point of our bottom or our furthest point on the right? If we have hit a wall, then we need to check what the previous direction was. Because if we're travelling up, we want to bounce in the same direction. And if we're travelling down, we'll want to carry on travelling down until we reach the bottom, then bounce back up. And that's basically what this logic is doing. We're finding our current direction and then working out which corner we want to point towards next. Once we found our direction, we use a really simple case structure, and in this case structure we go 0, 1, 2, 3. If we head towards 0, that means we want to subtract our location both top and left. So if we subtract our top position, then we go upwards. If we subtract our left position, we go towards the left. If we go towards position number 1, that's going to be in the top right of the screen. So there we want to decrease our top value, so we carry on going up, but increase our left value, so we carry on going right. And the same is true for the bottom corners, except we want to increase our top value to carry on going down. We can then use a property node to update the position of our control. Now that control I've just called DVD video. And then the way that we stop our code is using a simple stop button that I've made the same colour as the background, black. The last thing in this loop is a simple wait millisecond function. And so for every iteration I make it wait 3 milliseconds. This is for 2 reasons. I think the first reason is the CPU usage goes right up, because LabVIEW wasn't made for this sort of thing. So the CPU usage goes right up as it tries to do all of this calculation using the property nodes to move this control around the screen. So we give the OS, the operating system, some time to do other things. The next reason is just the general speed of how fast it moves. Let's have a look at that in action. So let's open up the front panel again. We can make it a bit bigger. Click Ctrl R to watch it move around. So the speed it's running now is with a 3 millisecond delay. Let's move that to a 0 second delay. Just see what would happen. You can see it's going much faster and then it suddenly stops and slows down. So it's a bit jittery. That's because our CPU usage will be going sky high, and so essentially our PC freezes. But next, let's try at a slower speed. So let's try 10 milliseconds. If then run this, you can see that DVD video moves much slower. I hope you enjoy this video and the little tips and tricks. I'll put a link to the code in the description. Please like, comment, subscribe. If there's anything you want me to go through again, just say. Cheers, catch you next time.